viewers, and welcome to another episode of Running Mech I Meant Fleet. This is gonna be a rather special episode, because we are going to have Lancer Battlegroup instead of Lancer, which is basically Lancer, except instead of mech, you have boats. You can check this introduction video I made for more information. Oh right, one more thing to mention, I'm not in charge of the following battlegroup session at all, because I have no idea how to play it. Instead, I requested the aid of 7th Fleet Legionspace, which is a battlegroup test server that frequently runs battlegroup test sessions, which is in version 1.6 as of the date the session started, so if you notice something is different in the future, that's why. This recorded session was run by Commander Alia Hayanaka, with Line Commander Gregory Watts of Battlegroup Virtue, Primer Rescormic of Battlegroup Glided Vault, Admiral Effie of Battlegroup To Whom It May Concern, and Ayajvikt of Battlegroup Torrential Downpour. I apologize if I completely butchered your names. Anyway, yes, I'm basically a spectator here, just like you guys will be once we start this episode for real. Actually wait, you guys probably have no idea what is even in Battlegroup, so I will just explain everything in detail. So, what you are seeing here is the fleet composition of a player's battlegroup. These are the ships, and what's equipped in them. In Battlegroup Virtue, commanded by Line Commander Gregory Watts, there's a Meyer-class battleship, which is a well-rounded battleship whose trait is basically I want more accuracy. This battlegroup is rounded out by 2 frigates. One is the Skylar-class frigate, which can make weapon reload faster, which gets very powerful when the Meyer is equipped with a near-light kill pack that does big damage. The other frigate is a Caspian C-class, which get to lock on enemy when it's screened for another vessel, which basically means there's a 50% chance it get hit instead of the ship it's screening for. Another thing to know is that lock-on doesn't last forever because, well, ship moves a lot faster in space, so lock-on only lasts until the next impact step, which is another thing I will explain when the battle actually starts. Next player's battlegroup is Battlegroup To Whom It May Concern, commanded by Admiral Effie, which is consisted fully of ship girls. The flagship is once again, another Meyer-class battleship, followed by 2 more Caspian C. Another thing you might notice are the words besides the ship and all those medals down below. Both of these are a part of progression system in Battlegroup. The words are called legacies, which is basically what the ship is famous for. For example, bloodthirsty means that the ship killed a shit ton of enemies before, so now it deals more damage if it gets lucky. The medals are for the commander instead, based on what they did in the battle. These medals also has some special effect that can be used in or off battle, so it's not just for look. Oh, one more thing, your commander could die for real if they get hit really hard, so getting these many medals takes quite a lot of luck. Next battlegroup is Battlegroup Glided Vault, commanded by Primer Rescormic, which has a Calendula-class battleship. Calendula is a very special battleship, because instead of 1, it has 2 super heavy weapons, and it has a trait to give its long spool gun even more damage, and also quick charge is super heavy almost instantly but destroying it after firing, which is not a problem because the Karagan trade baronies are too fucking rich to care. Next is the Tajids class carrier, the only carrier on the player side whose trait is its wings are very good at their job, which help a lot when this battlegroup has an ace wing, which is a customizable wing that gets rather powerful, which we will also see almost no action of, so I can't even tell you how carrier works on the player side much. To round out the battlegroup, the final ship is the Onaportum class frigate, which is a very outdated frigate whose trait is it's very fucking lucky because any Onaportum that lasted this long either has a ton of luck or ran out of fuck to give. The last battlegroup is Battlegroup Torrential Downpour, commanded by Ayajvikt, which has another Meyer. Why is these so many goddamn Meyer? The ship is followed by 2 Circeum-class frigate, whose trait is to use their escorts as a meat shield to not die. Moving on to the NPC battlegroup. NPC battlegroup is consisted of 1 flagship, which might have an escort or more, and might also be modified with a template, which gives it more bonus and flexibility. The first NPC battlegroup is a Tactician Corsair, a close-range brawler that likes sending out boarders to blow up ships from the inside. The Tactician template means that it has tricks up its own sleeves, like calling in a reinforcement escort that has already been prepared prior to battle. Its escorts, the brother-in-arms, are a pair of ship with big short spool gun and could also sacrifice itself to protect the flagship. Next is the Den Mother Phantasm, a long-range stealth ship that's extremely hard to hit with direct fire, but very vulnerable to missiles and fighters. Guess what the player battlegroups don't have much of in this session? The Den Mother template means that this Phantasm is modified to be a carrier for even more boarders. It also has a Loyal Guardian, which protects the Phantasm furiously and attacks harder against anything that attack the Phantasm, and the War Dogs, a close-range escorts that can also lock onto everyone. Third is the Giant Starkiller. Starkiller, just like its name, has a massive Starkiller cannon that can hit quite far, but can't hit anything up close, which is already problematic enough when it's also a giant, meaning it has even more health, and has another super heavy cannon, but it's slightly easier to hit. Its sole escort, the Sisters of Battle, not that kind, is a pair of escort carriers that don't have border but has fighters and bombers with loads of guns and missiles. Finally, there's the Unknown Man-O-War, a pain in the ass flagship that bully on everything you do, made worse by the fact that it has unknown template, meaning it has a capital scaled Omni gun called the Nape Horos that not only can't miss, it also ramps up in damage. It can also rip space apart to teleport a player battle group, which is fucking insane. Its escorts are the Battle Friends, which can hack battleship and also suicide charge like a missile, and the Deluvia, a gigantic cloud of drones that has to expend itself to do powerful move, but gets really hard to hit because it's not exactly one whole ship. I think that's about it for fleet composition. Also, instead of quick or full action, both player and enemy battle group have maneuver and tactic, used for specific action. A maneuver could be used as tactic, and enemy battle group has additional maneuver or tactic per escort they have. Sounds simple? Good, let's move on to the actual battlefield. So, in battle group, there really isn't a map. You could just use whatever format you want because nothing mattered except for how far the player fleets are from the NPC, which are always at the center of the gyres, or one side of the ruler I guess. Anyway, here's the scenario. Some pirates are trying to break out their boss from a prison ship, the penitentiary, and the players are here to stop it. A special option in this scenario is that during impact step, player can put half the damage they took to penitentiary, but if the prison ship takes more than 50 damage, the mission is a failure. But before the battle could even start, the players get to have uptime action, which is kinda like pre-battle preparation phase. Basically, the players just roll a d20 and if their commander is good at a certain aspect, they might get an accuracy dice. Also I'm bad at explaining role-playing stuff so let's just skip to the final result. Banked accuracy is accuracy dice the player could throw onto their own attack roll whenever they want for higher hit chance, and fire ship is basically turning a decommissioned vessel into a relativistic missile. You literally fire a ship, which give the player a through-line skip drone for 0 cost. It's very devastating when it hits, and still somewhat painful when it misses. So, with uptime action done, let's actually start the session. First, in battle group, there's multiple steps in a round. Logistic step, impact step, action step, and boarding step. In logistic step, every weapon with charge, reload, and payload tag matter here because this is where their counter get reduced by 1. Weapon charged up, reloaded new rounds, or missiles in flight move closer to the enemy group. Any system that triggers in logistic step also triggers right now, like the Harbinger laser on battle group to whom it may concern, and the Demi-Solar plus Nape Horos Omni gun on the Unknown Man-O-War, doing some damage on the Phantasm and the 10 of Heart. As the big problem in the enemy battle group is the Giant Starkiller with 2 goddamn long spool guns, both through-line skip drones on the player side are now targeting the goddamn thing and charging up. The Unknown Man-O-War also gets to launch Pulse Pack Missile, causing any player that ends their turn in the highlighted box to take massive damage. Next is Impact Step, which only matters if any charge weapon or payload missile reaches 0, because they will start attacking or get interdicted, hence the name Impact Step. Since nothing happens we will skip to the Action Step, which is the step where the player and NPC can finally have some actions. So, for the first actual turn, Battle Group Glided Bolt does retrograde burn to maintain its distance as well as getting bolstered, giving bonus to interdiction, and locked onto the Giant Starkiller. This would sound good, if not for the fact that almost all of the enemies here enjoy long range. The Giant Starkiller then fired its kill point targeting laser twice, damaging and locking onto Battleship Midas Touch and Battleship. In my defense there was no one there to stop me. Its escorts, the Sisters of Battle, launched its fighters to screen for missile attack. Battle Group to whom it may concern moved forward and fired its heavy kinetic batteries at the Giant Starkiller, slightly damaging it thanks to Paragon trait from Meyer-class battleship. Then Frigate Manta Ray screened for 10 of Hearts, locking onto the Unknown Man-O-War thanks to its trait. Unfortunately, since the battle group ends its turn within the Man-O-War pulse pack, All ships took some damage because it deals area damage, the interdiction did somewhat reduced it though. In the Den Mother Phantasm fleet, a loyal guardian tried to attack 10 of Hearts for the Harbinger laser but failed, the war dogs locked onto 10 of Hearts and Elbrus, and the Phantasm itself fired its high-precision railgun at 10 of Hearts and actually hit. But the attack was screened by Manta Ray. The attack would have moved the whole battle group but Admiral Effie countered it with the Interstellar Expeditionary Cross and refused to budge. Battle Group Virtue moved up, firing a torpedo at the giant Starkiller which will take a while to reach, and then used a litho screen, a massive cloud of asteroid and debris, to give the battle group some protection. Still took some damage from Man-O-War Pulse Pack though. The Tactician Corsair then forced Battle Group Virtue and Battle Group to whom it may concern to move forward but Battle Group to whom it may concern countered it with Insightful Commander, they really don't want to be moved. The Corsair then sent out raiding parties against Frigate Samara of Battle Group Virtue, trying to bring it down quickly. Instead of Battle Group Torrential Downpour moving next, the unknown Man-O-War moved first, moving Battle Group to whom it may concern forward, which gives them a bolster for more interdiction thanks to Insightful Commander again. The Battle Friends locked onto Coin Purse of Battle Group Glided Vault and then moved to whom it may concern forward again. Deluvia, a gigantic cloud of drones, spit some grey wash onto the Samara which will slowly melt it down, losing some health because it literally used itself as munition. Battle Group Torrential Downpour finally moving, chose to move forward and fired heavy kinetic batteries at the giant Starkiller, and have infinite slug machine to screen for in my defense there was no one there to stop me. Unfortunately the first casualties of the battle occurred as area damage from Man-O-War Pulse Pack completely wiped out the destroyer escort the battle group has, or rather, had. Finally, action step has ended, and boarding step began. The two mech wings that boarded Samara tried to blow up the Samara but completely failed. And thus, round 1 ended. Round 2 began yet again with shot fired in logistic step, only Man-O-War got to fire because to whom it may concern was too close for its laser, damaging the Manta Ray and Coin Purse, the Omni gun slowly rising in damage. Moving over to impact step, we will finally see some big damage from the charge guns as the skip drone from player side completely missed and dealt miserable damage. And then the Starkiller crit with its Starkiller cannon at Midas touch, which thankfully just turned into a hit thanks to Frigate Mana I'm not saying that. The brother-in-arms also fired their short spool guns and hits ridiculously well on the battleship Elbrus, which passed half of the damage to Penitentiary. Frigate Samara also took some damage from Grey Wash that slowly dissipated. All lock-on disappeared after impact step, losing their effectiveness, then action step began, but before action step could start, the unknown Man-O-War caused a metafold breach which folded Battle Group Torrential Downpour back to range 5. Action step officially started, and Battle Group Virtue took the first turn, having the frigate Tobolsk to screen Elbrius, locking onto the Starkiller in the process, then fired near light kill pack at the giant Starkiller, doing massive damage. Then just before the end of their turn, Battle Group Virtue kicked off both of the boarding parties as a nice bonus. The giant Starkiller fired its kill point targeting laser twice again, locking onto both Midas touch and in my defense there was no one there to stop me. Its Sisters of Battle launched out bomber wings, damaging 10 of Heart automatically, screening from Manta Ray failed. Battle Group to whom it may concern retrograde burn to back up, still maintaining that bolster, then have Frigate No Pain No Gain screen the Manta Ray, locking onto the Corsair in the process. The unknown Man-O-War fires at the Manta Ray, causing another casualty of the battle as No Pain No Gain failed its screening, then have the Battle Friends pulling Battle Group Virtua forward and locked onto the Samara, while having Deluvia to swarm around the Starkiller, protecting it while losing part of itself again. Battle Group Torrential Downpour burned forward, firing its heavy kinetic batteries against the Starkiller, damaging it, and then having Infinite Slug Machine screened in my defense there was no one there to stop me once again. The Tactician Corsair finally pulled its move, calling in the Roughnecks as its new escorts, which immediately sent out boarding parties against both the 10 of Heart and originally the Elbrius but then the screening Tobolsk took it instead. The Corsair then fired its Scrapcaster, which literally fires clouds of garbage, that completely missed but the sheer amount of trash gave it some cover, and then sent even more boarders against the Samara. Battle Group Glided Vault burned forward too, firing its heavy kinetic batteries at the Corsair. In case you didn't realize, heavy kinetic batteries is pretty damn good, which missed but still did some damage. With power distribution system, Midas Touch got its Tachyon Lance to charge slightly faster, allowing the Tachyon Lance and its primary lance to fire simultaneously in the next impact step, which will get rather painful. Finally, the Den Mother Phantasm sent out even more boarding parties against 10 of Heart because this battle doesn't have enough boarding parties already, then locked onto 10 of Heart. The Loyal Guardian and War Dogs then fired upon the Samara, damaging it further. Boarding step started, and 10 of Heart had its fire control sabotaged by the Roughnecks, unable to use anything on the ship, and then had its magazine blown up while Samara had 2 ticking demolition charges set within it. Round 2 ended, and round 3 began. Round 3, in Battle Group, is also called Round Die, because this is the round where almost all charge guns get activated after most vessels have taken some damage, meaning something will almost certainly die in this round. But first, logistic step. The giant Starkiller used impossible power to get both its long spool guns charged up because it's most definitely going to die this round. The unknown man-o-war launched the pulse pack at range 3, threatening anyone that stayed there, and poked some holes at Midas Touch and Samara. On the player side, Battle Group to whom it may concerns also poked holes at the Den Mother Phantasm, and Battle Group Virtue have the Samara doing its reload trait for Elbrus's near light kill pack. With everyone done, it's gun o'clock. Midas Touch fired the Tachyon Lance at the Phantasm, with 4+ accuracy boost from In My Defense There Was No One There to Stop Me, and missed. But wait, Primaris Cormac actually has a meritorious service bar which I forgot to list, a medal that allows an attack to be rerolled and still missed. Its long cycle lance however actually hit the Corsair, but one of the brothers in arms ate part of the shot, leaving the Corsair at only heavily damaged. Then In My Defense There Was No One There to Stop Me fired its long cycle at the giant Starkiller and missed. But it also has a meritorious service bar and still missed. At least the attack still scratched the giant Starkiller which is basically at its deathbed, but then 10 of Hearts went with its spinal petajoule kinetic and finished off the giant Starkiller, earning the first kill on the player side. The Sister of Battle also took severe damage from the Starkiller's dying detonation and moved towards the man-o-war to continue the fight. Also the torpedo that was heading towards the giant Starkiller noticed that it's dead and just self-detonated. And now, the enemy began to fire. Oh right, one thing I forgot to mention, the concept of turn only really exists in action step, so for every other step, things happen simultaneously and the giant Starkiller still has 2 long spool shots even in death. Giant Starkiller fired its signature Starkiller cannon and nailed the Midas Touch, half of the damage transferred to the penitentiary, and then fired the Tyrant cannon at In My Defense There Was No One There to Stop Me and stopped it. But wait, In My Defense There Was No One There to Stop Me has subjective syzygy to force the enemy to reroll still hit. I'm going to assume that the giant Starkiller has an Ace Attorney on board or something. Next, Den Mother Phantasm fired its kill dart laser and missed the 10 of Hearts, but the sheer energy in the attack still partially melted its hull. Also Samara finally died thanks to the Grey Wash. With all the big guns unloaded, the action step began and Elbrus Emergency burned away and quickly fired its near light kill pack, hitting the unknown man-o-war hard, while interdicted all damage from man-o-war's pulse pack munition. Tactician Corsair then launched every single wings it has to board Elbrus, and that's it. Then Battle Group Glided Vault just unloaded its kinetics and ended that Corsair's service life. The remaining brother in arms died in its arms and the Roughnecks ran off to the Den Mother Phantasm. Then Midas Touch put maximum power on its Tachyon Lance, allowing it to be fired in the next impact step, but the gun will be destroyed in the process. The Phantasm, seeing the threat, locked onto Midas Touch and fired its railgun. It missed, but the attack also pushed Battle Group Torrential Downpour back to range 5. The Loyal Guardian tried to fire at 10 of Hearts but failed, then the War Dogs locked onto Elbrus and Midas Touch. Battle Group to whom it may concern used Liberator's Shield Metal to ignore some boarding effects and moved back to support Battle Group Glided Vault, still maintaining that bolster, and have no pain no gain to screen Midas Touch, locking onto the man-o-war in the process. As the last enemy flagship to go, the unknown man-o-war fired counter batteries upon the Elbrus, damaging it. The Sisters of Battle just have its fighters screened for their flagship, and the Deluvia just sneezed on the 10 of Hearts, giving it some grey wash to worry about. Finally, Battle Group Torrential Downpour is just gonna backed up from the battle with its flagship gone. Its boarding step time and Elbrus just had a bunch of demolition charges and targeting beacons stuck on it. Meanwhile, 10 of Hearts and Tobals couldn't get rid of the onboard Roughnecks which shut down their primary drive. Round 3 ended, and round 4 began with the usual shots fired in logistic step already, holes being poked in the Den Mother Phantasm and 10 of Hearts. But, it's time for another impact step and Midas Touch fired its exploding Tachyon Lance at the unknown man-o-war and missed. But wait, No Pain No Gain is a Caspian Sea, and it allows attack done by allies that consumed lock-on to reroll their attack, and it became a fucking crit, dealing 54 goddamn damage because some weapons in Battle Group double their damage on a crit, completely vaporizing the Unknown Man o' War so hard, it truly became an unknown because there's nothing left of it. The Battle Friends get vaporized in the blast too, and both the Sisters of Battle and Olivia moved over to the Phantasm. The Unknown Man o' War, in its dying breath, fired its demi-solar lance, but it completely missed the Midas touch. However, it still came at a great cost on the player's side, as 10 of Hearts has succumbed to the Grey Wash. With Impact Step done, it's now for Action Step, and Battle Group Virtue took the first turn to kick all the borders and demolition charges off and launched another litho screen to protect the fleet. Den Mother Phantasm, as the only enemy left, kept on fighting and locked onto No Pain No Gain, ordering the Loyal Guardian to fire on it, which missed. The War Dogs locked onto Elbrus and Midas Touch, but that landed on No Pain No Gain instead with its screening. Sisters of Battle continued to do their fighter screens, and Roughneck have borders on Elbrus and Tobolsk again. Deluvia tried to eat Midas Touch, but again No Pain No Gain screened that too and took the Grey Wash, truly the best made. Then Phantasm just went fuck it and sent even more borders against the Elbrus again. Battle Group, to whom it may concern, which was honestly just the frigate No Pain No Gain at this point, just Ghana maintains its spot, still getting that bolster, and screens the Midas Touch again, locking onto the Phantasm in the process. Battle Group glided ball, then unloaded on the Phantasm, missing everything. Then, finally, Carrier Coin Purse get to do fucking something and launched the Viper Squadron, heavily damaging the Phantasm. It's boarding step time again, and both the Elbrus and Tobolsk have their primary drive disabled, again, and Elbrus has some of its system malfunctioning. Round 4 ended and round 5 began. And that's, a battle ended. Now it's time for post-battle result. So, while 10 of Hearts is destroyed, its crew managed to get out, and so did its admiral. In my defense, there was no one there to stop me, however, was beyond mission killed, and thus its admiral is posthumously awarded the Azure Star. As for legacies, Battleship Elbrus obtains the Bloodthirsty Legacy for critting and hitting hard with its near light kill pack. Frigate No Pain No Gain obtains Lucky Legacy for basically not die while screening everything. And Frigate Mana I'm not finishing that gains Phoenix for kept dying and kept coming back. And that's truly, a Lancer Battlegroup session completed. So, I'm not even going to try judging the performance of the player in this battle, because that wasn't the point of this video. The point is to show you guys how it feels to play Battlegroup. As you can see from the sessions, Battlegroup played out a lot more like a war game than Lancer, and in general it's more mechanically simpler. But that doesn't mean there isn't any art in dismantling the enemy fleet by superior planning, firepower, and luck. In fact, you probably need a lot more luck, because unlike Lancer, there really isn't a second chance. Things are a lot more high risk, there's no such things as structure or reactor stress in Battlegroup, and everything does rather high damage and could even kill your battleship in one shot. There also isn't rest or multiple missions, one titanic battle is all it mattered between starships in a star system. The other good thing about Battlegroup is that it's really easy to set up, just get a bunch of friends, construct their fleet, make some enemies, and you are good to go, because you don't need to care about the map or extensive campaign plotline at all. It's quick to set up for anyone, so all you really need is the book. If you want to find out more about Battlegroup, you can check PilotNet Discord for it. It's still in development after all. Anyway, I guess that's all for this episode. So, Merry Christmas, and I will see you all next time. Hello there, if you like this video, please subscribe to my channel and click that notification bell button. If you really want to support my channel, you could visit my Patreon page, or buy me some coffee, links in the description. Anyway, have a nice day.